pure happiness. I know everything is shining, always gonna be gold.
Well, this will surely win back the fellas. Hillary Clinton popping up on Mojo, hand-wringing over how the Democrats keep fumbling young male voters while cackling and delighted how the world has moved on from white men. Watch.
The idea that you could turn the clock back and try to recreate a world that never was, dominated by, let's say it, white men of a certain persuasion, a certain religion, a certain point of view, a certain ideology, is just doing such damage to what we should be aiming for. It probably boils down to candidates on the Democratic side either stop talking in ways that were going to be understood. The Republican Party, I have to say, has done a much better job dominating social media, dominating the podcast ecosystem, getting messages out, and aiming particularly at young men.
Well, she's in her I really don't care anymore phase, isn't she? Has she always hated white men this much, or is this something new?
She loves white men. She's married to a white man.
Well, I think that might go to my initial concern here that she clearly has what feels to me, as a white man, a lot of disdain for the honkies.
That's not how I read it necessarily. I think that she's talking about some of the messaging and the hearkening back to another time, like Make America Great Again, and what time was it when it was so much better. But it doesn't. She's out there. It was CGI this week. UNGA week. She's doing interviews like Clean Global Initiative week. Whatever. That's why she was in town doing the interview.
I thought she was an animatron brought to us by AI.
Yes, that's a hologram. Listen, it's not like people are focused on the impending shutdown that's going to come next week, potentially, and the midterms.
I mean, don't you think Democrats should think about getting men back?
Well, they are. I mean, she was talking about how we do have a problem attracting young male voters. Like that, everyone knows what the problem is. Everyone has been talking about it, and she was. You just played a snippet of it.
Yeah.
But it was a long interview. It went across several segments, in fact.
Yeah, lucky us. Why do they keep trotting her out exactly?
Well, she trots herself out. She says she wants the Clinton Global Initiative to replace USAID, which means they're going to take all of our money.
Yes.
So we don't want to go back to where straight white male Christians dominated. Statistically, we still dominate. We just don't want you to discriminate against straight white male Christians. And we will not discriminate against you. We want a country where no one discriminates against anyone. That's what MLK said, content of your character, not color of your skin. We want merit. We want the country to be like a professional sports team. If you can play, we will pay. If you can score and you're a good teammate, we want you on the team. No excuses, no handouts. It's all about that, performance. And what happens are, men are so simple. If you tell us the rules and what our expectations are, and you have a coach that has our back, we're good. We don't need anything else. But what they did was they started changing the rules. They started putting crazy people on our team that sucked, and the coach was a snake. And so what we did, we said, this isn't working. And then we tried to tell them that, and then they called us stupid. So we said, okay, the country fell apart. We went over here to podcasts and social media and did our own thing. And even when we were trying to mind our own business, they still called us racist. They still censored us. And then we said, okay, we won the election. And now we're back in charge. And now it's your turn to listen to us.
Well, it seems as though some of the social media platforms are listening to conservatives, and now Google is admitting that there was, in fact, censorship and meddling. I thought one of the interesting things that Secretary Clinton noted was that conservatives are so much better on social media. And I think what she means is conservative ideas broke through on social media. Liberals didn't feel like they had to do too much on social media because before Elon Musk bought Twitter, they had a complete lock on all the social media platforms. So maybe liberals felt like they didn't have to try too hard. So even though a vast majority of people who worked at Twitter and Facebook and all these other corporations, they're Democrats. So maybe they didn't have to try too hard, but are conservatives really that much better at social media?
Well, looking back to 2008, during that campaign when Obama was running, and I remember seeing a headline that said they had raised something like $200,000 from an account called Cat Lovers for Obama. I was like, what the hell is what is this? What are they talking about? So Obama was actually the one who figured it out. Trump figured out Twitter in the first term. Then what happened was let 1,000 flowers bloom when it came to conservative podcasting because they were shut out of every other media. You can't get your point of view out there. So so where do you go? You try to go direct to the people. The technology was available, and conservatives figured it out first. They were like the people who made it to the gold rush first. So that's them. Now Democrats are trying to catch up, but the problem is when they don't have a sense of humor and they don't have any message or policy that goes around it. Okay, I can remember is in 1997 being a Capitol Hill staffer, thinking like, here I am, I'm a young woman, I'm going to become independent, and I'm going to do all these things. And the Lewinsky scandal happens, and what did she and all of her friends do? They shunned that young woman to protect what? A white male, and all the other white men. And then fast forward. And you get to Me Too, and they're like, oh, actually, we'd like a redo on that because we wanted to protect him, but we don't want to protect any of the other ones. No wonder they don't want to be a part of this party. In addition, Peter cannot get over Gillette from years ago talking about toxic masculinity. He hasn't bought another one of their products since. So these types of things last. To Jessica's idea or point that the Democrats know they have a problem with men, and what Hillary Clinton was saying is that, yeah, we got to win them back. But what she's not saying out loud, but she implies is that it's not because they did something wrong to lose those men. It's that the men are wrong. They just don't know it yet.
That's even worse.
Yeah, it's, I don't know if you know this, Kennedy, that's the first time that Hillary's been on Morning Joe since the mysterious death of that intern. I'm not saying anything, but I have to wonder, why is this old, ugly bag still around?
Don't talk about Mika that way.
I mean, that is so petty. It's so petty when I say those things. But I'm not calling her a bigot, and I'm not calling her a Nazi. I'm just saying she's old and smelly and ugly. That's where I say the path is for America, is petty insults, not demonizing people like saying all white men are racist. Remember that dream you always have of realizing you have a final for a class you never went to, and you're standing naked there going, oh my God. That is the Dems right now. They're facing a final, 2026, 2028, for a class they stopped going to years ago. They're standing naked in the classroom, and all they have is a Trump is Hitler sign. And what do? Do you drop the sign, or do you keep waving it? Well, their policies and idea muscles have atrophied. All they had was this sign. It was the only tool in their toolkit. So they're in this demon loop. The more they do it, the more they must rely on it. I'm not worried as much about the parties. I'm worried about us, what they're willing to say about us.
I had a dream the other night that I showed up to a final that I wasn't prepared for naked. And it turns out the class was an art class, and they were supposed to draw me naked.
Wow.
It was the right class.
Wow.
And Jesse is not even tired of winning. Up next, disturbing flyers popping up on a college campus that mock the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We'll get into it next.
Reach out, touch faith.
It looks like I'm a wreck. It's in the hole!